We begin with potential progress to end the war with Iran. Trump administration sources suggest a tentative agreement has been reached, but it still requires final approval from President Trump. The memorandum of understanding would extend the ceasefire by 60 days and begin talks over Tehran's nuclear program. Iran has also not yet given its final approval. Vice President J.D. Vance admits the sides are getting very close, but they're not there yet.
Well, I think it's hard to say exactly when or if the president's going to sign the MOU. We're going back and forth on a couple of language points. I do think that we've made a lot of progress here. It's very clear that I think the Iranians, they want a deal.
Today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will meet in Washington with the foreign minister of Pakistan as the country helps mediate talks between the U.S. and Iran. That meeting is set to take place at approximately 10 a.m. Eastern. And President Trump discussed the war in a new Fox News interview with his daughter-in-law. She asked what the line was for him to resume offensive military operations in Iran.
Well, a deal that wasn't going to be good for us is the line, ultimately, because, I'm playing it out and we're going to see, and that's what I do. I negotiate. They negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards because we've defeated them militarily.
CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro kicks off our hour together from the CBS News D.C. Bureau. Aaron, good morning. The White House says we've been on the brink of a deal several times over the past few months. So what's different now?
Good morning, Errol. In terms of, what's different, the political and economic pressure, despite President Trump saying it doesn't really matter to him, have been building. But there have also been at least progress that we've heard from Vice President Vance in these talks with Iran. Again, what's on the table is essentially a 60-day ceasefire and then setting the framework of topics that would be negotiated in those 60 days. The president still has to sign off on it. Iran still needs to sign off on it. And yesterday, during his press briefing, Secretary Bessent was still vague if the president's requirements when it comes to Iran's enriched uranium, when it comes to Iran allowing free transit in the Strait of Hormuz, are actually even addressed in the memorandum of understanding. We know that President Trump said he would not make a deal without those points. Take a listen to what Bessent told reporters yesterday.
The teams have been going back and forth, and President Trump has made it very clear, he talked about it at the cabinet meeting, that he has several red lines. And Iran has to turn over their highly enriched uranium. They cannot pursue a nuclear weapon. And the Strait of Hormuz, navigation of the seas, has to be free and open as it was before.
And we know that last weekend, when rumblings of a deal started to be reported, you saw some pushback from Senate Republicans criticizing the deal, making sure and sharing their concerns that they don't want Iran to feel emboldened after using their leverage over the Strait of Hormuz. And since then, you've seen President Trump reiterate that he does not want to make a deal just to make a deal, and that he wouldn't sign any deal without the requirements that Bessent just addressed. I also want to note, during that briefing, our colleague Nancy Cordes asked Bessent about potentially lifting U.S. economic sanctions on Iran and unfreezing their assets. That had been a request from that side. Secretary Bessent responded by saying potentially, but it would be happening slowly.
We'll have more on this later this hour. Aaron in D.C., thank you for that.